Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And today I have a product suite for you from the new spring mini catalog. And let's see, the name of this suite is called Heartfelt. And the next real holiday that we have coming up is Valentine's Day, that I created a little Valentine's card, which is just real cute. And so I thought I would show you about making that particular card. So it's from the Heartfelt suite, and it's got paper and it's got punches and a stamp set and ribbon and all kinds of pretty things that are associated with it. So let's just get started. Okay, here is my project for the day, and these are the papers. They're absolutely beautiful. They're a specialty designer series paper, and you can see I've been in mine and cutting around. And this stamp set called Heartfelt is the stamp set, and it comes with 2 punches. The first one is a plain heart that's pretty good sized, and the second one is a scalloped heart. And so that is the bundle that you can get, this stamp set and these punches. Now I'm using From My Heart to Yours and Love You Lots from the stamp set, and I am using this punch. Actually, I'm using both punches, and this punch cuts out the heart on this paper, and it cuts it out absolutely perfectly. And this heart punch cuts out these scalloped hearts on this paper that are foiled. And the color combination is Real Red, Flirty Flamingo, and Whisper White. And as you can see, there's all kinds of really pretty foiled elements here, and then some plainer papers. But one side, I think, on all of these is foiled. Yes, there's these 2, which I've showed you. This one has foiled inner little hearts, and then arrows in the background. This one has little tiny hearts. This one is not foiled, so this is the only one that's not foiled, and it's stripes on one side and little hearts on the other. And then this one's got little clusters of hearts, and it's got a pretty stripe on the back. So there's all kinds of really pretty paper here that you can fool with. And so let me show you what you need to make this particular card. So I used a Whisper White base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And then I have a piece of Flirty Flamingo that is cut 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 to make a tiny little border around this outside piece, and then a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4 to make the layering top piece on here. Then for the inside, I cut a piece of Flirty Flamingo that is 4 by 5 1/4, so it leaves a little bit bigger border, and then a piece of white that is 3 3/4 by 5. So those are those pieces. Now, what I did here was I cut a piece of this pretty designer series paper that's foiled all over, and I cut a 4-inch strip, and then I cut a piece that was 5 1/4 by 4, and then just cut it on the diagonal so that I got 2 panels, and so we can make 2 cards from just one of those 4 by 5 1/4 pieces of paper. But this is such pretty paper, this could be used anytime. It doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day. And the stamps in here, there's really only one stamp in this set that says Happy Valentine's Day. The rest of it is being friends is better than eating candy, but let's do that too. So lucky to have a friend like you. Love you lots. Love, roses are red, violets are blue. From my heart to yours. And then these hearts, arrows, and some little other heart elements. And so really the only thing that really refers to Valentine's Day is this one. There's lots of times you would send to a grandchild and say, love you lots, or from my heart to yours. And so this would work lots of different times. And the paper really is pretty versatile as well. Anyway, so on this piece of paper, I chose to lay this one down here, and it goes right to the edge, cut from a panel that is the same size as this top layering piece. So what I'm going to do is take out my silicone mat here. And what I did was I put everything else flat on the card except the hearts, and I raised those. So I'm just going to add some adhesive, get my corners really good, and then lay down small strips here, and then set this piece down so that it fully covers that corner. There we go. Very good. Now then, this piece is going to layer on here and give us a little bit of a flirty flamingo border. And again, I'm just going to make sure my corners are down. Now, if you're using a strip adhesive like the Stampin' Up! Strip adhesive, then what you want to do is put it down in smaller bunches because it's a stronger glue than the dot glue. In fact, I think the next tip video I do, I'm going to do one on adhesives that talks about all the different kinds of adhesives and when you use them. I had somebody write to me the other day and said, why don't you use the Stampin' Up! Adhesive? And I said, well, actually I do, but I use lots of different adhesives depending on what I'm trying to get done. So I think I'll just do a video on that. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to, again, put my strip adhesive in smaller pieces on my corners to make sure my corners are covered. Little strip in the middle. And add that to my card front. And there we've got all of our layering pieces. Now then, I took these pieces out and I thought I would show you that. This is the scallop punch. And when you put this paper in here, I cut the strip first so that it would be easy to handle and I could cut the hearts going either way. So this one, it's just a matter of taking your time and making sure that the scallop, the point and the bottom are lined up and there's no white showing on the scallops. And then punch. And there we've got one of those pretty hearts. Now I cut a red one and a flirty flamingo one. And then the other punch, let me grab the piece of paper I was working on with that. And there's really no waste on this. Here's my other punch. So in order to be able to get the punch snugged up, here I'll show you. When I go to put this in, because I want that heart, and I go to do this, I can't quite get there. So use my scissors. I cut across where I had cut these two hearts so that I could get at this heart with my punch. And slide this in, and again, it's just a matter of lining up the dots if you want to cut one of these out. You certainly can use the paper just the way it is, but for this design at least, I wanted the individual hearts out. So that's what you do to cut out your hearts. Now, on this, I used one of these hearts down here on the bottom and just put some glue on the, the one side. And it's kind of big, so I really just set it so that it would take up part of that corner, and then trimmed this end off. So there is on the inside. Now I used my real red ink, and I just re-inked mine so it's nice and juicy. And what I did was I put a little piece of paper underneath here, and I put this little heart surrounded by these, oh, I don't know what they are, they look like little drops, right here in the middle of that heart. It goes off just a hair. And then I use this same stamp and put a heart up above this, and then put one right down here. There we go. And then I did Love You Lots on the inside of this one. And I put that right over here in the corner. There you go. All right. Now on this one, From My Heart to Yours is the stamping that we're going to do. And on this sample that I did, it got tucked in the corner, but it's almost a little too far in the corner. So I thought I would move it out just a little bit on this one so that it doesn't feel quite so scrunched in there. From My Heart to Yours. There we go. That looks a little bit, it's a little different. Okay, so I decided that with these hearts, I wanted contrast of color. If I used this one, it would disappear on the red. So I used this one. Oh, there is one more little bit of stamping. I did put a red heart stamp in the middle of this one. So I'm going to try and line that up so that it's in the middle and give that a little heart stamp in the middle. Okay. All right, now we're done with all the stamping. So I can put my ink away. I put these up on dimensionals and then set them on my heart, putting one at the top first and then another one like it at the bottom so that I could really get the center with this one. So I'll be right back. So this one I'm going to put well up on the top of my card, going all the way to the edge of the Flirty Flamingo border. And the same thing with this one down here at the bottom. There we go. And then this one I can set in between them and get it spaced just right. There we go. Now I have some of these rhinestones from the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and I'm going to use the biggest of the red ones in between these two hearts. And then, since I left myself a little bit more room, I'm going to put the next size rhinestone right up here in the corner. And then on the inside of my card, where's my inside that we just did? Here it is. I put one of the smaller rhinestones right in the middle of this little heart. There we go. So it adds just a little bit of bling. Now this piece is ready to go on the inside of our card, and we're nearly done. So it's a fast little card. It's one of those where the designer series paper really does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So I guess we could call this a fast and beautiful. And I'm going to set that on the inside of my card, and we will be all finished. Oops, it goes on a Flirty Flamingo layer first. There we go. And then this piece down. I don't know about you, but I love putting layers on my cards, and it feels a little naked sometimes without them. And it just adds richness to the card, and it really makes a difference on how professional I think our cards look when there are extra layers. There we go. There's still plenty of room for you to write your sentiment in there. You move some of these things out of the way. And that is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. Still, this is the month of December. We've got a couple more days, and we're almost to the point that the catalog will be live. I think it's January 3rd. So I think that's maybe this time next week. So we've got a week left. Anyway, there's the first of the Valentine's cards, and I think it came out really pretty using the elements that are provided with the paper, which made it really easy. The stamping is minimal. So my prize draw for the month of December and January is the bundle of your choice out of the new catalog. I think that's a nice prize because you get to pick what you'd like to have. And all it takes is putting an order of any size on my website, albettinger.stampinup.net, or you can get to it through my blog www.inkandingenuity.com. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye.